Thank you. It's an honor to be here for the 10th year, talking about issues like women's issues, families, detox, elimination, environmental, the forests, and all the things that we do here at Hippocrates Wellness. So this time is about our future. So I see an environmental and species collapse happening in real life. So we can either be upset about it, or we can have real solutions for it. So let's put it all in perspective. So not long ago, just like 30 years ago, the scientists didn't know if there were other planets outside of our solar system. Then they found 5,000. And there's 2 trillion galaxies in universe. Galaxies are a system of stars. There's 60 billion galaxies that are, our galaxy has 60 suns worth of stars. And they took 13 billion years to grow. There is 8 planets that orbits near the sun. You know them. There is the Mercury, the Venus, the Mars, the Jupiter, the Saturn, the Uranus, and Neptune. And for life to come to this earth, we needed water. We needed oxygen, we needed nitrogen, and we needed plants. And then life could start. If alien life exists, we don't know, because there should be gases from fungus, from plants, and we know that there is a lot of unidentified things in the air. A lot of pilots tell us that. They see a lot of funny things. So the Earth, billions of years ago, was mainly water. There's oceans, one Indian Ocean, the North Atlantic, the Indian, and you have the South Ocean. South Ocean being the coldest. So this is the Earth that we were given with all of its possibilities. And the humans, the modern humans have been here for about 200,000 years. And we have evolved. Like 10,000 years ago, we became agricultural. And we mainly saw ourselves stay in one place. You know, we had, like 20,000 years ago, we had ice time, and Northern Europeans had to move very south. They actually found remnants that we moved to southern Italy. So we have always been immigrants, and there will be a lot of immigrants in the future as the Earth and the climate. Temperature has changed so fast for us that a lot of places will have huge flooding, and we have also a drought now. We have a drought that's the worst that we've seen in 1,200 years. So let's go into the next picture. Our extraordinary gift of life is something we need to respect, honor, and cherish. Although it appears that all of us are on a collision course, you can turn life into a happy, fruitful, and contributing experience. So this is very much about pollution that I want to talk, and nearly 1/5 of humans will die due to mankind's industrial waste product pollution. Deadly chemicals are not on the radar, since we have a complete disconnect of the profound negative effect they play in our health and future. So this is happening due to greed. This is corporations that now, for the last 30 years, really, or you can say since 1940, have created heavy-duty chemicals that are in everything, in our food, in our water, and in our air. And the biggest contributor to this is USA, China, Russia, Brazil, and India. And you know, there's been so many conferences about trying to make sure that we can stop it, that we can reverse it, but there is no agreement. There is no international agreement as of yet. Nearly 1/5, no. Okay, I think I just went to the next one, sorry. So look at this, sorry. I need to go back. So, no, that's too many, sorry. There we go. According to the Bureau of Reclamation, Lake Mead and Lake Powell, the nation's largest reservoir, are already 3/4, I wish it was only, are already 3/4 empty and will fall to dangerously low levels within the next 5-year period. So what's happening is that a lot of rivers don't make it down to the ocean. And because we have this amazing symbiosis at night, the mist from the ocean is brought into forest. We need forest, and then it's brought down to rivers, and rivers then bring with all the soil and nourishment into the ocean, and it's an ongoing symbiosis. If rivers are not making it all the way down to the ocean, we have a big problem. Environmentalism has become a business, and its iconic mantra does not comprehensively address the severity of this crisis. No, so there is a lot of talk. There is really nobody checking, and that is a big problem because we have the 50-year water amendment that EPA did with the Army Corps of Engineers. And I don't know what happened. Obviously, our water is not drinkable anymore. Our air is full of microplastic, of chemicals that we all inhale daily. So Britain's Lancet Planetary Health Journal reported that our environment, air, water, food, clothing, building and household material, plastic and electromagnetic radiation, etc., are far more deadly than wars, terrorism, driving accidents, malaria, drugs, and alcohol combined. So this is what's killing us today. This is what we're dying of. And when in August 2022, Northwestern University published a study revealing that a class of synthetic chemicals used in the manufacture of consumer products, they're called PFAS, and they are called also forever chemicals, linger permanently in the air, water, and soil, and are directly linked to low birth rates, high cholesterol, liver disease, and certain cancers. So Northwestern University also exposed that water, grease stain resistant packaging is directly linked to liver and kidney cancer. This is something that I think went over most people's head, and they've been here since the 1940s. So they've really got into our soil and everything that we grow in it, our air and the water that you drink. So plastic made of petroleum, fossil fuel, are choking our entire planet, and more is being produced and discarded daily. Less than 8%, actually it's 2%, is recycled since it's less costly to produce new products. So Andrew Sharpless who is director of Oceana, and the top microbiologist, Jackie Savage, spoke at a recent conference in Maine. Actually, I attended about the perils of ocean and land dumping of these perpetual chemicals. Sharpless stated, they never go away. They just break down to smaller and smaller particles. Savage said, at this rate, the entire planet will have a thin layer entirely covering it, since we currently produce 2 dump trucks full every minute. The largest land dump in the world is floating in the middle of the Pacific. And you've probably seen it, and it's 2 Texas size worth right now and growing. And both revealed that the only remedy is to stop producing these disease-causing products. Sharpless said, if we spent eternity cleaning up the current plastic pollution, we would never get all of it. And Killerfish, my husband Brian's book, reported similar finding at the beginning of the 21st century. And this conference was very much about the single-use plastic. The single-use plastic, that's containers, most of the stuff that you buy, the bags, and you know, everybody can bring their own bags and into stores and start using that. And maybe in future, what you'll see is that store will start selling things loose weight, and you can actually bring your own containers. In addition, all of this pollution is ending up in the bellies of sea life and eventually in us. And that's when you see the sharks, the whales, beaching themselves up and dying. And you see turtle, and you know, you've lost so many turtles. And they're totally confused because they're eating the microplastic and it makes them feel full, and they're not eating. And so they're starving to death. Oxford in England reported that the consumption of only 3 fish meals per week accrues 2 ounces of plastic in your organs and tissues by the end of 1 year. Should we stop eating fish? Absolutely, yes. We should never eat fish again, because for many generations, this is in the ocean. It's so deep, it's 100 meters down, even more. It's so deep in the ocean. Global burden of disease just reported that air pollution kills nearly 7 million people a year. Asthma and lung cancer is a global health concern that is increasing due to chemical particles floating in our atmosphere. And, you know, asthma and lung cancer, yes, and you would say, well, smoking is a big part of that. It is chemicals, very much. A lot of people get lung cancer who never smoke. What are these chemicals doing? They're bringing estrogen. They mimic estrogen in your body. And that is a huge part of the lung cancer that you see today, not only smoking. And people are smoking less in a lot of parts of the world. Asthma, which is an allergy infection. Of course, you're going to see a lot of allergies as our air is full of microchemicals, microplastics. Heavy metal industries kill about 1 million, and that's the mercury, cadmium, lead, also in our water. Water pollution, 1.5 million. And Dr. Spices, who's Ph.D., is a DC, is Hippocrates wellness water expert. And as a scientist, he has tested water from around the world. And he concluded there is no clean water left anywhere on Earth. So when you look at water, you look at this glass of water, there is two hydrogen atoms bonded with one oxygen atom, and this water is full, trillions of molecules. And you wouldn't think that there is microplastics, you can't see them. There is lead, there could be mercury, there could be parasites. So let's listen to Dr. Spicer.
So hi, I'm Maria Clement here at Hippocrates Wellness, and I'm here with Dr. Spicer, who's a Ph.D., who is a DC, and well-renowned expert in water. I would say the world-renowned. And so I have some questions that I think all of you have for him. Is there any public drinking water in the world that's safe to drink today?
Well, define safe. You mean if it's potable? Yes. If it's full of chemicals and heavy metals, it's not safe. It's potable for the most part, but it contains a lot of low-level contaminants. There are chemicals, disinfection chemicals, lead, heavy metals, and what we're finding is a whole array of different new types of contaminants. For example, dioxanes and subsystems. The whole new chemical class, PFAS chemicals that are emerging. Some areas have radioactivity, so they can meet federal standards, but they're still at low levels that are toxic.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The standards aren't strict enough. I just published a paper on that. The whole infrastructure in the United States, the water delivery system, is decaying. And we saw this in Jacksonville, we saw it in Flint, Michigan, and other places, Camp Lejeune. Basically, there's not enough money to fix the systems. So it's incumbent upon individuals who are concerned about their health to clean the water in their home. That's what's happening with consumers. They're going for bottled water now, or they're buying filters, but it's still not adequate enough to clean the water up completely. That's where you need an expert.
Yeah. And so what diseases could come out of this? What do you see?
Well, long term, the things that you're seeing are, other than bacteria problems, for example, after a hurricane like in Florida, the water's not potable, you can't drink it. You'll get a gastrointestinal illness.
Oh, yeah.
What I see as far as illnesses are more frequently parasites because they're on surface water, and most treatment systems in the United States can't clean them out. They're not sufficient enough. You need very fine filtration. So people who are weakened immune systems, immune compromised, that's very, very dangerous to drink water with parasites. That would be an immediate problem. The longer term problems are exposure to arsenic, certain heavy metals, and a lot of these chemicals which are increasing cancer risks. So that will take years or decades, and you're finding more information. There's more research now, like the Environmental Working Group has studied this. In California, they're seeing a lot of increased risk of cancer because of arsenic and radioactivity in these trihalomethanes, which are the chemical disinfection byproducts.
So what's the cost effective, like a family that wants to take care of their water and not use tap water? What would be the cost effective way?
Right. Well, the first thing is bottled water is not the solution. That's not cost effective.
No.
You're going to wind up, even the better bottled waters, you can spend $3 or more a gallon. And I've looked at some of the real good ones, even the ones that are sold in health food stores, and they do have low-level contaminants. Plus, it's not a full-use solution. You need something for your bathing, your cooking, your rinsing, and consumption. So anything that touches your food, anything you consume, anything you bathe in, you really want safe, clean water. And to achieve that, you really need the proper filtration equipment. People who live in apartments, you're limited to a sink filter, but there are some good ones.
Yeah.
And a shower filter that will help. It doesn't get it all out, but you just get most of the contaminants out. In a home, you can do a filtration tank, and what we do is a custom system where you add additional filtration, removing materials like arsenic, removing uranium, radioactivity, if it exists in the water. We do special systems. Mm-hmm. So when you do that in combination with something like an upgraded reverse osmosis, then you have all the bases covered. You won't be absorbing any chemicals when you're bathing. You won't be drinking any contaminants in your water.
We are so happy you're part of our Hippocrates faculty. Thank you.
Very welcome, Emily. Thank you.
Then we have electromagnetic field pollution, which is pervasive all over the world. The number of diseases and deaths they directly or indirectly cause are undetermined. Dr. Deborah Davis from US, who has also been on The Real Truth, and you can go back and listen to her conference. She worked under Clinton, and she really, when she retired, wanted to see what was the real research about cell phone, because that was going on. And of course, it came out that there were no link to cancer. And afterwards, she found that there was definitely linked. And Dr. Hardell from Sweden, who I interviewed, he did the longest research, 20 years. And as Europe, especially Scandinavia, started with cell phones, and kids had cell phones much sooner than kids in US. So he did research about brain cancer and found that it doubles the risk, and malignant cancer, and even cordless phones double the risk of benign brain cancers. So they've linked these invisible molecular frequencies to a wide array of diseases, including rare forms of cancer. So when COVID happened, and it started 3 years ago, so 2020, then 5G moved into all the schools, and 5G is very toxic. It's a radiation that's different than any of the other 3G, 4G, you name it. And we have to protect ourselves. So I will talk more about that, because you need to protect your own children. So Dr. Kessler, former head of FDA, states it's not bad enough that so-called food has little to no nutrition, but it's riddled with deadly chemicals, including synthetic opiates that are intentionally laced in it to get you and your loved ones addicted to the products. So most of the stuff in a supermarket, unless you go to where the healthy stuff is, the fresh vegetables, sprouts, fruits, nuts, seeds, beans, you name it, then if it's packaged, it's usually not good for you. And you know, if it has a lot of ingredients that you don't even know what they are, don't buy it, don't eat it. And then they put opiates in it, and you can't stop yourself. So when you start eating cookies, you can't stop. When you start having chips or, you know, popcorn, you name it, you can't stop yourself, because it's in it. And it was to get you and your loved ones addicted to the products. It was just corporations that were greedy and wanted you to be addicted. It had nothing to do with looking after your health. Dr. Dorsey, who has also been at The Real Truth, and his colleagues in the book Ending Parkinson Disease, exposed the cause for this neurological disorder, Paraquat, an herbicide which has been banned in most European countries and even China, but has doubled the usage in the United States, even though the so-called protection agencies in America, FDA, EPA, has been alerted to its destructiveness. So Parkinson is actually the fastest growing brain disease globally. And it's killing so many people. And of course, there is many reasons, but their research was that Paraquat is one of the biggest reasons. It's in our food, it's in our water. If you drink decaf coffee, if you wear dry clean clothes, work with paint or degreasing products, you are being exposed to something called trichloroethylene, which destroys the brain and nervous system. So next time you go to the dry cleaner, you go to an eco cleaner. And coffee, you can totally forget. And if you work with paint or degreasing products, you know, degreasing products, water repellent, these are all PFAS. These are forever chemicals, forever in our soil and water. Then we have lights are kept on 24/7, and the circadian rhythm of all living beings on Earth change. Now birds are singing in the middle of the night, baby turtles heading in the wrong directions. And there's a book by Sweden, John Eklöf, The Darkness of Manifesto, that really tells you much more. But there are solutions. So science is finally catching up with what we observed for the past 70 years here at Hippocrates Wellness. Since government and industry are in the business of profit, you are going to have to take charge yourself to avoid premature death. So listed below are some of the individual and societal remedies. First, consume only organic plant-based food, ideally raw. This is the most nutritious, protein-rich, nourishment-rich diet you can be on. And all the years that this Hippocrates Wellness, where we enjoy seeing every day how people improve their immune system, their emotions, their spiritual feeling of being a part and feeling like themselves, very much have to do with being nourished. And a lot of the packaging is not good for you. It would be the best to go to farm stands and local farmers that are organic or sustainable. You can belong to something called CSA, and you know, they will bring you boxes of amazing, just picked food that is so much better than something that's been on a truck for weeks before it got into the store. You can grow your own sprouts. You can actually, in even the smallest apartment, you can get glass jars, go to the hardware store and buy a nylon window screen and cut little squares that you put over those and put rubber band, and get seeds that are organic. There's a lot of organic seed sources, and start growing your own broccoli sprouts, your own sunflower, your own cabbage, radish, mung beans, you name it. That will give you so much more nourishment. And they give you oxygen, they give you hormones, they give you phytonutrients, and they give you enzymes. So it's very much the raw. The cooked will not give you that. Drink only distilled water and bathe only in highly filtered water. So now you need to have, like Dr. Spicer said, if you have a house, you have a whole house filter, or at least you have shower filters to fill your bathtub up or your shower. So distilled water, a lot of people wonder, well, now I don't get all the minerals that mineral water has. Those minerals are inorganic. You cannot digest them anyway. So the purest water is distilled water. So breathe fresh air, be outside more, open the windows, and use efficient air filtration in your home and workplace. Here, when COVID first happened, and still, we have air purifiers with probiotic, and they've worked fantastic to keep us all healthy. We have a lot of other air filtration, and of course, when you have air conditioning, you need to change the filters like twice a year as you use them. And, you know, in your house, the more plants you have, the better, because plants soak up chemicals. They clean the air for you. So they're silent workers at home. So the more plants, the better. Then the furniture you buy and the rugs. If you have Scotchgard treated rugs, that is forever chemicals. They never go away and they outgas all the time. If you have laminate floors, that outgas for you. So let's get back to good materials. So build and furnish your home or workplace with natural and organic products. So what did we used to? We had stone, we had tile, we had bamboo, we had cork, natural products. And so, you know, now a lot of the couches you buy are treated also with the forever chemicals. So go out of your way to find organically treated products. Wear only natural fibers, hemp, linen, bamboo, organic cotton, and always only wear organic undergarments, including wireless bras. And, you know, naturally, these are the fibers that we always used. And then, especially in the 1960s and on, it really took off with acrylic, polyester, nylon, and we got sick from it because it outgas, and it never stops to outgas. So especially the undergarment is very, very important that they're organic. And women, if we wear the bras with nylon polyester and we have underwire, we have a 6 times greater risk for breast cancer. This is real. This is real, and I've seen it many times. And bras that are very tight actually stops the lymph flow. And you have lymph flow under your arms going up straight through your chest, and you stop it. And it's very, very important that we have bras that we can breathe through, and we don't breathe through polyester and nylon. When working with hazardous material, always use protective gear. Yeah, we might not think about that at home. What do you have at home? You have gasoline, you have paint thinners, you know, you have a lot of stuff that could be very, very toxic to you, and it gets into your skin. And so we took it very serious, that what we put on our skin. And when you read an amazing book by Dr. Epstein called Healthy Beauty, he reveals how toxic cosmetics can be. And so it's a great book to read and find out, because probably most of us use some kind of skincare and cosmetics. So we took it very serious. We made the Hippocrates Become line.